have you been told about evolution's greatest mystery of all time? Not how life evolved, but how life first began.
Hey, Darwin, your theory explains how all living organisms evolved from simpler life forms. But how did the first single-cell microorganism come into existence?
Oh, I am not sure. Maybe God created it.
Oh, well, who cares? It is just a simple blob of protoplasm anyway. It probably just formed spontaneously from simple chemicals like carbon dioxide, nitrogen, and oxygen, even without God.
But science has come a long way since then. Modern science knows something about cells that scientists in Darwin's time never knew. Even the simplest life, a single prokaryotic cell, is very complex. It contains molecular machines like ribosomes to make proteins, as well as metabolic pathways like glycolysis to produce energy. And most importantly, it has a sophisticated information system for storing and transmitting genetic information. DNA. The discovery of DNA structure in 1953 made the origin of life even harder to explain. Overnight, the amount of biological information requiring explanation exploded. The human genome alone contains information equivalent to 800 dictionaries or 10,000 novels. It's so sophisticated that even Bill Gates once said, "DNA is like a computer program, but far more advanced than any software ever created." Just like a computer program uses ones and zeros, DNA uses for nucleotide bases to encode instructions. They are adenine, cytosine, guanine, and thymine. In the same way that 8 binary digits map to a letter in software, every 3-letter segment in DNA called a codon corresponds to a specific amino acid. In software, the mapping from zeros and ones to letters is arbitrary and not dictated by physics. Programmers decide what 01000001 means. It could be A or something else entirely. Likewise, there is no chemical reason why the codon TGG should code for the amino acid tryptophan. The mapping rules for DNA are also arbitrarily set, so the real question is, who set the rules? Some evolutionists argue that even though evolution is currently unable to explain the origin of life, there is progress through the study of abiogenesis. Essentially, it's the idea that life could have arisen naturally from non-living matter. They point to the Miller-Urey experiment from 1953. Electric sparks that were passed through a mixture of gases produced a few simple amino acids, the building blocks of proteins. Some claim that the experiment proves life can arise from chance, but that is a vast oversimplification. To give an analogy, making amino acids is like finding a few scattered bricks and claiming you are ready to build a skyscraper. Yes, bricks are the basic building blocks of buildings, but a skyscraper requires much more than that. It requires millions of bricks, along with blueprints, cranes, wiring, and construction workers. In the same way, yes, amino acids are the building blocks of proteins. But a single functional protein needs hundreds of amino acids in a precise sequence. Biologist Douglas Axe has estimated that only a tiny fraction of all possible permutations of proteins will fold into stable 3-dimensional proteins. That number is about 1 in 10 to the power of 77. The odds are so low that even if every bacterium that ever lived each contributed 1 mutation, the chance of producing even 1 functional protein is just 1 in 10 to the power of 37. In other words, practically 0. As Scientific American once said, even creating a bacterium by chance would take more time than the universe might ever see. There is another chicken and egg problem. DNA holds the instructions for proteins, but proteins are required to read those instructions. So which came first? Some scientists propose the RNA world hypothesis, suggesting RNA came before both DNA and proteins. RNA can carry genetic information like DNA, and can perform some limited catalytic functions like proteins. However, this idea faces major challenges. RNA is unstable and has very limited enzymatic properties. Even supporters of the idea call it the worst theory of early life, except for all the others. Faced with all these challenges, some scientists like Nobel laureate Francis Crick have suggested that perhaps aliens deliberately seeded life on Earth. Yes, really. It's called directed panspermia. However, even Crick himself admitted there is no evidence for this, and it just pushes the origin of life question to another planet. How did life start there? When even Nobel scientists invoke aliens to explain life, the search for a naturalistic answer has hit a dead end. So let's take a step back. We see a highly complex, self-replicating cell. We see DNA, a code more advanced than anything humans have ever written. We see astronomical odds against even a single protein forming by chance. And we see a chicken and egg system where DNA and proteins cannot function unless both are already in place. None of this looks like the product of blind chance or undirected natural processes. Instead, it looks like something designed from the very start by a powerful and intelligent creator. If this video got you thinking, be sure to like and subscribe to our channel. And as always, may reason be your North Star in this journey of faith.